just say that no Mr. Steves were injured or will be injured in today's live stream. I just want to make that completely clear before we begin. Here we are then. It's a beautiful day today. It's ever so nice outside. You can see the sun is shining. Everything is looking rather lovely today. Yes, we are back once more live from the birthplace of the English language. You know where that is. I know where that is. We all know where that is. It is, of course, England. Boo 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 dibby 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 bee. It's so nice to be here with you again. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I hope you are feeling good today, because it is the weekend, and traditionally for many people we often see the weekend as a time to relax. Maybe on Saturday you spend all of your time at home. Maybe you go to visit some friends or relatives at the weekend. So I suppose the weekend is one of those strange times when you can do virtually anything if you are lucky enough not to work during the weekend. Of course, there are many people who have to go to work. They have no choice. They have to work on Saturday and quite often on Sunday as well. So I hope, even if you are working at the moment, you are having a chance to follow the live stream. Some people watch at home on their computer. Some people decide to take their mobile phone with them whilst they are walking around, or maybe whilst they are at work. Some people even listen to the live stream without actually watching it, which happens quite a lot if you are busy. So the weekend is a very strange time. Mr. Steve was away yesterday. He went to see his sister. I was here on my own doing some things. That's all I'm saying for now. I might show you what I was up to yesterday a little bit later on. We also have some lovely nature to look at today as well. We are coming towards the end of the month, of course. October, it's a special time because normally at this time of year we will celebrate the birth of this YouTube channel. Way back in 2006 is when this started. On the 31st of October 2006. This all started a long time ago. There was no Twitter. Yes, it was before Twitter even existed. We might talk a little bit about that later on because there is a lot of news concerning social media and Twitter in particular. My name is Duncan, by the way, just in case you're wondering. Yeah, there, look. Can you see it on the screen? That's me, by the way. I love English. You might say that I'm one of those up there. There it is. No, there it is. I'm getting my left and right mixed up today. I love English, and I have a feeling that you might like English as well, because we are all here to share our love of the English language. Yes, as I mentioned, we have made it to the end of another week and also the end of another weekend because it is Sunday. Just a moment. I'm a little bit thirsty. Just please excuse me a moment. I don't know why I feel thirsty today, so I might be drinking quite a lot of water during today's live stream. I don't know why. Yesterday I was busy outside on the roof of the house. Something I want to show you. Would you like to have a look at it right now? Okay then. We will do that. We will have a look right now. What was I doing? Yes, of course, at this time of year we start to think of Christmas. I know. November is approaching and lots of people are starting to prepare already for Christmas, including me, because over the weekend I was up on the roof putting up my Christmas lights. And there they are. Can you see them? Looking rather nice. So this was yesterday, and you can see the weather was not very nice yesterday, but I have put all of my Christmas lights on the front of the house, and here are some more of my Christmas lights for those who want to see them. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't know. So these are some more of my Christmas lights that I've put up. And you may notice that where I live is very high up. In fact, we are the highest point in the whole of the village. And lots of people can see the house, and at Christmas time, lots of people can see the Christmas lights. So that's why I always like to put an extra bright display of Christmas lights on the roof, because all of the neighbours can see them. In fact, you might not realise this, but our Christmas lights have become quite famous around here. Every year we meet people in our local town in Much Wenlock, and quite often people will know who we are because not because of my YouTube channel, but because of the Christmas lights that I put up every year. And a lot of people say, "Oh, we know you. You're the ones with the Christmas lights." It's true. I'm not joking about that. So we are quite well known for our Christmas lights on the house, and a lot of people know us because of that. Of course, some people around here also know us because of this, our English Addict live stream, which, of course, well, my YouTube channel will be celebrating 16 years here on YouTube tomorrow. Can you believe it? 16 years tomorrow. It will be the 16th anniversary of my YouTube channel beginning so many years ago when I was in China. Another thing I should mention, by the way, is this: time. Last night, or should I say in the early hours of this morning, we actually put our clocks back by 1 hour this morning. So for those who are wondering why I am on at the wrong time, maybe for you I am 1 hour later than I should be, but I'm not. Don't worry. There is nothing wrong with your clock. It is because we have left British summer time and we have gone back to GMT. So that means that we have put the clocks back, and for some people we will now be on later. And I know for some, especially if you are watching in Asia, where of course it is very late at night, it will be even later now during my live streams. So I know that for many people it is hard to do that, to join the live chat. But I hope you will try to stay awake now that the clocks have gone back by 1 hour. Can I say hello to the live chat? We have some people joining us on the live chat. Hello to you. Who was first? I wonder. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, I see. It would appear that we have a new champion approaching from the back. and now is at the front. Hello to Luis Mendez. Guess what? You are first on today's live stream. Luis Mendez is here and you are first on today's live chat. Very nice to see you here today. We also have Paolo. Hello to you. Vitas is in third place today. We also have Megar Kakar. Hello to you. I hope I pronounce your name right. Francesca is here as well. Hello, Francesca. Are you the same Francesca who used to watch me many years ago? I wonder. We also have Willian. Hello to you. Maria is here today. I am saying hello to Maria. Hello, Maria. I hope you are okay today as well. Palmyra is here. We also have Valentin. We also have Fernando. Hello, Fernando. Nice to see you here as well on the live chat. It's so good to see you all here. Every Sunday, I'm here from 2 p.m. UK time. Of course, as I mentioned a few moments ago, the time will be slightly different where you are if you have not turned back your clock by 1 hour, because we have, you see. So some people don't even do it. Some countries don't actually bother. Claudia is here. Oh, it's nice to see you here. My question today, of course, is, Claudia, is there something cooking in your kitchen? Or more precisely, is there something cooking in your pot?
What's cooking, Claudia? What have you got in the pot? What's cooking, Claudia? Is it something spicy and hot? Is it something salty or not? Oh, Claudia, what is in the pot?
What is in the pot, Claudia? So come on, Claudia, tell us. What are you cooking today in your pot? Is it something nice? Is it delicious? Is it tasty? Is it something that I am going to want to eat as well? I wonder what is cooking in your pot today, Claudia. Please let us know. Hello also to Sandra Gonzalez is here today. It's nice to see you back. 16 years. Yes, I'm not joking. The 31st of October 2006, whilst I was still living in China, I started my YouTube channel. Back then, of course, it was called Duncan in China. And then over the years, I did change the name of my channel. And now, these days, in 2022, it is known as English Addict. English Addict with Mr. Duncan is what it is called. That is the name of my channel, and now there is no mistaking what it is called. English Addict is what it is. It really is. I saw the lovely animals. I know a lot of people like to see nature. You like to look at the lovely animals that live around by my house. Well, guess what? Look at that. Some lovely cows that are living at the back of my house, and I have to say they are still there. I can't believe it. Now, normally at this time of year, there is very little grass for them to eat, but the cows are still there. So there they were on Friday. I think I filmed this on Friday. So you can see we still have 6 cows at the back of the house, and also you might see in the distance there are some sheep as well. So not only do we have cows at the back of the house, we also have sheep as well. Isn't it amazing? So they are really enjoying themselves, even though there seems to be less, I suppose, less grass for them to eat right now. Aren't they lovely? That is my favourite cow. I don't know why. I love the colour. I love the fact that this cow has a little white face and a pink nose. Very lovely. Isn't that nice? I'm just wondering if you have any nature where you live, near to you. Do you have any nature that you see? Do you have any lovely natural sights that you might see where you live? If you want to send something to me, you are more than welcome to do so. You can. You can. Hello. Hello, cow. Aren't they lovely? I could watch the cows all day. I will be honest with you. I could watch them again and again and again and never get bored, to be honest. Hello everyone. Hello live chat. Who else is here today? Saturino is here. Today, Mr. Duncan, it is a beautiful summer day. Is it really? I see. Who else is here? Oh, Lena. Hello, Lena. Nice to see you here as well. What about you? Anyone out there? Do you have any lovely natural sights near you? Anything lovely that you would like to show me? Maybe you can send a photograph. And here is the address. So you can send photographs, videos to my email address. There it is at the bottom of the screen. So do you have any beautiful natural sights? Maybe animals, maybe you have a beautiful view near your house, something that you like to look at. There is the address on the screen right now of my email address for all of your correspondence. If you want to write to me to say hello, or maybe you want to send something, a beautiful shot, photograph, video of the nature where you live, feel free to do so. It's okay. I don't mind. It's very nice. Thank you, Baram. Hello, Baram, who says, congratulations on your 16 years on YouTube. It's true. I still can't believe it, to be honest. I can't believe I've been here doing this for 16 years. It does seem incredible, but it is also true. I've been doing this for a very long time. I have. Lots of festivals taking place. Last week we had Diwali, or Diwali, some people pronounce it as, the Festival of Lights for the Hindus last week. Tomorrow, of course, it is Halloween. A lot of people around the world celebrate Halloween. They have parties, they have celebrations. Here in the UK, people often dress up in costumes. They will go from door to door. They will knock on the door and they will say trick or treat. Quite often they will get a treat. Mr. Steve and myself, we are going around tomorrow night, around to the houses. We will be knocking on the doors and we will be offering a trick to them, unless of course they give us a treat. And we are wearing our scary costumes. Well, to be honest with you, we're just going as we are, because this apparently is really scary. So imagine opening your door at night and there's myself and Mr. Steve standing on your doorstep. Can you imagine how scary that would actually be? So we don't really need to dress up in Halloween costumes. Anyway, it is Halloween tomorrow. A lot of people are going to dress up and try to scare each other. we might talk about that a little bit later on when Mr. Steve arrives. Yes, Steve will be here in a few moments for those wondering where Mr. Steve is. And can I say thank you to everyone who has sent lovely messages to me concerning Mr. Steve, because now he appears on Wednesday as well. A lot of people saying, "Oh, Mr. Duncan, it's so kind of you to allow Mr. Steve onto your live stream." I think so as well, to be honest. I think it's very nice of me to give him the chance to say what he wants sometimes. But today I'm going to be completely open with Mr. Steve. I'm going to allow Mr. Steve, when he comes on, I'm going to allow him to say anything he wants. Anything. Any subject. Anything he wants to say. So during the first few moments of Mr. Steve being here today, he's going to have a chance to say anything he wants. And I suppose I am taking inspiration from Elon Musk, because now he has taken over Twitter. And apparently a lot of people think that Twitter is going to be wonderful and super and open with 100% freedom. Although you might have to wait for a while. I don't think Twitter has changed yet. I think it will take maybe a couple of months before things actually start changing. Hello, Lyra. Hello, Lyra. Lyra Hidalgo. Nice to see you here. I don't recognise your name. Is it your first time? I love nature. I grew up on a farm. Isn't that great? Near me, there are lots of farms, lots of farmland, and there are at least 3 farmhouses very close to where I live. But you're right. It's great if you grow up in a place where there is lots of wildlife and nature all around you. And to be honest with you, I can't think of a better place to grow up than on a farm. It must be really amazing. So I hope you enjoyed your years living and growing up on the farm. Yes, Mr. Steve will be here soon, and I am giving him complete freedom today. Absolute freedom. I am not going to censor Mr. Steve in any way. I am going to give him complete freedom. There will be no censorship. And there he was in the garden, cutting the grass. And yes, guess what? He is coming up right now. For all the fans of Mr. Steve, you don't have to wait any longer. Here he comes, and Mr. Steve can say anything he wants right now. Now, Mr. Steve, you have 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds to say anything you want. All the things you've wanted to ever say on YouTube. You can't say those words. Thank goodness. Thank goodness you were wearing the tape. Okay, Mr. Steve, I will allow you now to be unleashed. Here we go. This might hurt a bit. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Mr. Duncan, that was therapeutic.
Did you enjoy
therapeutic. I could say whatever I wanted, and well, I just hope that you don't get, after 16 years, Mr. Duncan, I hope that your channel isn't finally banned.
Well, what you don't realise is I could understand what Mr. Steve was saying, and to be honest, I hope you didn't, because some of that was really disgusting. I can't believe you used that word as well.
I feel so much better. I feel so much better, Mr. Duncan. It's just I've got all this off my head, out of my mind, and you've let me do it. That's the miracle of your channel. You let me just say whatever I wanted to say, and it's out there now for forever. Yeah. For everybody to see and understand and hear.
We might get cancelled now because of that. We might get cancelled.
Well, I'm not sure about that. But hello, everybody. Well, I already said hello. You've already heard me. Although I actually was just coming out with lots of expletives.
You were saying some terrible things
about certain people who we get on the channel. I've been saying all sorts of horrible things. I wasn't really.
Don't say what you were saying.
I'm joking. It's nice to be here.
By the way, for those wondering, we are not on late, but this is the time right now, okay? So this is the time now, because last night, or should I say the early hours of this morning, we put our clocks back by 1 hour. So this is the correct time. Don't worry, there is nothing wrong with your clock. Which reminds me, we are going to talk all about time today. Some words, expressions, phrases. There are lots of them. Lots of phrases connected to time. And that's what we are going to look at.
All about time. Time. and specifically how these Sunday live streams don't go on for anywhere near enough time.
Okay. Mr. Steve is confusing excitement with actually being understood. But I've noticed you've got your watch on as well.
Yes.
So Steve has his watch. I have mine. We are watching our watch. I'm wearing my old retro watch. A lot of people, whenever I wear this in public, a lot of people say, "Oh, your watch is very unusual." And I say, yes, this watch is about 26, maybe 27 years old. Mr. Steve bought this for my birthday way back in the mid-1990s. So yes, this is a very old watch.
Did I? I bought it all that time ago, Mr. Duncan. I've got a runny nose. Not sure why.
No.
Hope it's not COVID.
Well, I don't think it's COVID, no. I think you're okay for that.
Yes, Mr. Duncan bought this watch for me was about 4 years ago?
It wasn't that. It was
like
just,
that.
yes, about 3 years ago now.
And I've just noticed that I have not changed the time. I have not put the clocks back.
Oh, I see.
1 hour. I'll do that now, shall I, Mr. Duncan? Because obviously I might get confused during the live stream.
You get confused very easily, to be honest.
There we go. I'm going to go back. Can I go back an hour? Is it a good idea to do that? Are you supposed to go all the way forward?
No, just go back. Just turn it back.
It was very safe to do that.
No,
on these
it's
types
okay.
of watches. What
That's
time is it,
right.
Mr. Duncan?
Well, you are surrounded by clocks.
There we go. That's all nicely wound up.
Yes.
A bit like I am by you this morning.
Yeah. Or it's normally you that winds me up, to be honest.
Well, that's a good use of time, isn't it? To wind somebody up.
Why?
Because it's connected with winding up watches.
Oh, I
which
see.
is to do with time.
That's a very tenuous connection.
Well, I think it's very good, actually. Yes. We do wind each other up from time to time.
Yes.
Which means that you deliberately say things to annoy somebody, to get them to react in a certain way, to get a rise out of people.
And sometimes unintentional as well.
Yes.
So maybe you wind someone up without even realising it. So maybe if I'm eating some food and I make a lot of noise whilst eating, maybe that will wind you up. Maybe you will be annoyed by my terrible noisy eating.
The implication is that you do it deliberately on purpose because you know what annoys somebody or what gets somebody excited or riles somebody up, and you deliberately press those buttons.
You don't necessarily. It just means to annoy.
But you're doing it deliberately, aren't you?
Yes,
not necessarily, but
not
usually.
Necessarily,
yes. We're arguing already, Mr. Duncan. Arguing. Good. That'll put the viewership up.
I'm just giving you the correct definition because we're supposed to be talking about English.
Oh, that's if you wind somebody. Well, I can tell what. It's usually deliberate.
Ignore
what he said.
The live chat has been very busy today.
It has. Yes, Saturino says, I like your £50,000 Rolex. Yes, well, of course, all the profits from, just a small amount of the profits from Mr. YouTube's channel went into this £50,000 watch.
Who's Mr. YouTube?
Well, Mr. Duncan's YouTube channel. I was just abbreviating your name. It's sadly, it's not a Rolex. Not that I particularly want a Rolex. I don't want a Rolex, in fact.
It's not a Rolex.
It's not a Rolex.
You shouldn't say things like that. See, I spend all of my time trying to tell everyone that we're not millionaires. It is not a Rolex. We don't have Rolexes. We don't have a Rolls Royce. We don't live in a 20-bedroom mansion.
Something like that.
We are not YouTube millionaires. Can we just say that now? Thank you. We are the absolute opposite of YouTube millionaires.
Now, it looks expensive. Do we need to explain this watch now?
No,
Let's move on.
That's it, because we are talking about time. So the live chat, anything?
The live chat, yes. Lots of people congratulating you, Mr. Duncan, on your 16 years on YouTube. Somebody said that if you could probably get a driving licence now as a result of that. CAFTA said, CAFTA DCH, I think. I don't remember seeing you before, but subscribed to you in 2007.
2007, you've been watching since, so almost 16 years, 15 years you've been watching me.
And Smug Froy said that you were the first YouTube channel that they subscribed to.
Wow.
I'm not sure when that was. but obviously, presumably a long time ago.
It was.
So, yeah, lots of people saying congratulations on 16 years. And William says, can I say happy birthday to your 16th year? Well, yes, you can.
You can.
You can say it's a birthday.
Tomorrow is the official day because it was the 31st of October 2006. Way back. The internet. It's very hard to appreciate just how different everything was way back in 2006. There was no Twitter, although maybe Twitter was in its early days, but it wasn't popular. I think Facebook was around that time, or maybe a couple of years later. I think it was actually 2008 or 2009, Facebook. But before then, of course, we had MySpace, which was the big thing.
Your space, Mr. Duncan's space.
So MySpace was a social media, a social interaction website. I think you're winding me up today.
It was your space, was it?
No, it wasn't MySpace.
Was it your space?
It was the original social...
a platform.
Yeah.
Is that the word you're looking for? Platform.
It wasn't the word.
I'm winding Mr. Duncan up. You see, I'm winding him up. Well, Bamboo for You says that he likes to wind up his girlfriend by twisting her nipples. Can we say that on your channel?
It's a bit late now. I might have to put the tape back on Mr. Steve's mouth.
But is that really winding her up? Does she not like it?
Well, or some people might enjoy that.
Maybe she gets annoyed.
Yes.
Because she thinks it's a prelude to something else that she might not want to do. A prelude, something that comes before the main event, or something that comes before something.
This is probably a good opportunity to say that if you are someone without a sense of humour, if you have no sense of humour, then this might not be for you, because sometimes we do say things and do things that might be a little different. You may have noticed already, this is not your usual English learning channel. Do you know why? Well, because it's something different. This actually is English Addict. English Addict, and that's what we are with myself, Mr. Duncan, and, of course, here he is. Yes, he is still with us.
And yes, I am still here. You haven't banned me yet, Mr. Duncan.
Not yet. Although last week I did receive some complaints. Complaints about me censoring Mr. Steve. So that's the reason why today I decided to let Mr. Steve say whatever he wanted.
And that was, as I say, very therapeutic. If you say something is therapeutic, it means it makes you feel better. A therapy, like you might go for a massage.
Yes.
Or something like that. And it's therapeutic. It gives you therapy. Makes you feel better.
I think so.
And often getting things off your chest.
Yes.
Getting things off your chest, which means that you've got things that you want to verbalise, you want to talk about them. Things that are important to you, and you want to sometimes rant or get them off your chest. It's a good way of saying once that you vocalise something that's annoying you or worrying you, then you therefore feel better afterwards because somehow you've got rid of them out of your head.
That's it.
We say get them off your chest.
That's right.
I don't know why we say that, but we do.
Get it off your... It's the pressure, you see.
The pressure,
It feels as if you have pressure. And then when you get it off your chest, you are expressing how you feel about something, maybe something you want to confess to, or maybe something you want to say that you've always wanted to say to another person. So there are many ways of getting things off your chest.
Relieving pressure of containing, having things in your mind, thoughts going over and over and over.
Over and over. Something very strange happened yesterday at the back of the house because you weren't here.
I wasn't, no.
You was visiting your sister, but I noticed yesterday the farmer came to leave some food for the cattle and the sheep at the back of the house. And I don't know what that food was, but it sent them all completely crazy. Look at this. So there they are.
Oh.
And they were going crazy. They were all climbing over each other, going completely mad. In fact, the cows were trying to push in, but they couldn't get in because the sheep were going completely crazy. So what happened? The farmer came and he sprinkled some grain on the ground. Now, I have a feeling that the farmer does this to give them vitamins and nourishment that they might not be getting normally. So that's the reason why he did that. But you can see the sheep were going a bit crazy, and the cows were trying to get in to eat the grain as well, but they couldn't. They couldn't get near it.
Whatever it is, I want some of it, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
It looks quite popular.
Yes,
They're wandering off, the cows.
They did get a bit bored after a while.
So he just sprinkled it onto the ground, straight onto the ground.
Yes, he just put it on the ground, and then a few moments later, the cows and the sheep all came, and they were going crazy. They were all climbing over each other. In fact, I think I missed the best part, which was when they first put it on the ground, because they were going absolutely berserk. They were. Mr. Steve and myself are here, by the way, every Sunday, for those wondering, and we get an extra Wednesday appearance from Steve as well.
Well, I'm not saying I'll be here every Wednesday.
No, not every Wednesday.
No, just I don't want people to get used to having too much of me, quite frankly. You can't have, you can sometimes have too much of a good thing.
Yes.
Probably not. Doesn't count in my case.
You can sometimes have too much of a bad thing as well.
That could be me, yes. But yes, I will try and make an appearance on a Wednesday. And that is, of course, because I am currently unemployed.
It is true. Mr. Steve, by the way, if there's anyone out there who wants to offer a job to Mr. Steve, anything. So maybe anything that you want doing. So this might be a new venture for us, you see. We might actually be able to offer the services of this man who, over the past 40 years of working, has gained so much experience and knowledge.
I'm a sage, Mr. Duncan.
I'm pretty sure you must be useful to someone.
I must be. You would think so. You would like to think that after 40 years of working, I have developed some skills and abilities that could be useful to an employer out there. But, I live in hope.
Yes.
Although I'm not actually looking at the moment for employment, but I may well be next year. So we'll have to wait and see. Or I might get so used to this life of leisure that, being supported by Mr. Duncan and his YouTube channel, that we're joking.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think that will ever happen.
That I may decide never to go back to work. Of course, that is about as far removed from the truth as you could possibly expect to get.
Can you imagine me keeping Mr. Steve with my YouTube earnings? I don't think we would survive for 1 hour, to be honest.
Yes, so Inarchy, yes, 40 years. I've not been in the same job for 40 years.
No.
I've just been working for 40 years. So I had got my first job after studying when I was around 22, 23. So it's about 39 years, I would say, I've been working.
So that's your total years of actually being in employment. And the thing, of course, you're talking about being unemployed now, but during all the time that I've known you, I've never known you to be unemployed.
Or not working.
Yes, you've always worked.
When you use the word unemployed, it implies that you want to be employed again.
Yes.
Doesn't it? I made transition, not sexually.
No.
I made transition from being unemployed into retiring if I feel like I don't want to go back to work or don't need to go back to work.
Yes.
But yes, we'll have to wait and see.
So when we talk about unemployed, you are unemployed because you want to work, but there isn't a job that is suitable for you, or maybe you live in an area where there are very few jobs, even though apparently in this country, we have the lowest unemployment rate ever. I think it's something ridiculous, isn't it? 3%?
It's very low in America as well. In lots of countries, see, they are talking about a possible recession happening, but there is so many people are employed. You are absolutely right, Mr. Duncan. You've hit on quite an important thing that is going on at the moment. How can there be a recession if so many people are in employment?
It's
because
amazing.
Normally in a recession, companies are laying people off, making them unemployed. So it's not normally, you wouldn't expect that if you were about to enter a recession. So I do, a lot of people are doubting this recession that could be on the way, because unless companies start laying people off, you can't really have a recession.
Okay, Steve.
But let's go into that. Yeah.
What I was going to say is it's amazing that we do have very low, because I remember growing up in the late 70s when unemployment was something ridiculous. I'm sure it was 15 or 20%. Was it? It was something amazing during the 70s.
It used to be very high.
Yes, but now it's only 3%.
3%, yes. And in fact, there are more jobs available, at least in the UK, than there are people available who are unemployed to take up those jobs. So I think we've got about just over 1 million people who are classified as unemployed.
Yeah.
A lot of those won't do the jobs that are required. So a lot of service industry jobs, working in hotels, picking fruit, working on farms. A lot of British people don't want to do those jobs.
No. And the other thing to mention, I suppose, is quite in the past, we would often have a lot of foreign or overseas labour in this country. But of course, since we've cut off our ties with the European Union, then many of those people have actually gone back to where they were, their own countries, and now we're finding it very hard to fill certain positions, certain types of jobs. So it is interesting. And the reason why I'm leading to this is because of being unemployed in a situation where you want a job. And I have been unemployed in the past. And sometimes I've had to do jobs that were really, really terrible. I think the worst job I've ever done, was actually I've done 2 or 3 terrible, horrible jobs, but I think the worst one was when I had to get up very early in the morning and I was working cleaning. Can you imagine me doing that?
I can't.
I had to work in a supermarket and I had to get up at about 4 o'clock in the morning to go and do cleaning, and I was so desperate for work at that time. This is going back very many years.
You were doing that when we first met.
Yes, well, that's it. I was coming to the end of that because my first of all, the economy and everything was changing and there were more jobs around, so I was able to do other things. But if you are desperate to do a job, if you're desperate for work and money, you will do anything. Like this, for example. This is how desperate.
Don't put yourself down, Mr. Duncan. And this is what our country's become, like America, like a lot of rich Western countries. The indigenous population, the people that were sort of born and grow up here, don't want to do what are perceived as menial jobs. So they don't want to do cleaning, they don't want to pick fruit, they don't want to work on a farm, they don't want to serve in a restaurant. And so those types of jobs over the last few decades have been taken up by foreign workers coming into the country.
When we say foreign, we mean from overseas.
Yeah, from overseas.
Unfortunately, foreign doesn't always sound good when you say it, but overseas work.
You know what I mean.
Yes.
Overseas, that's right. And of course, being able to earn relatively high wages for those jobs here compared to what they would have earned back home.
Okay.
So that's made it attractive. But of course, as you say, since we've split away from Europe, things have changed. So yes, there are a lot of people in this country, and there's a lot of debate about this, who are unemployed but won't do jobs that like cleaning, like these, and they really, And those debates, should they be forced to do these jobs?
Yes.
Or should we continue to pay them unemployment benefit?
Yeah. Well, I think that comes down to sometimes laziness. So there are people who don't want to work at all, whatever it was, whatever the pay is. They're just lazy, bone idle slobs, and they just want to sit at home,
yes,
claim their social security, and do nothing.
And the benefit system is such that quite often, in many cases, there is no incentive to take up a job because they can get more benefits from being unemployed than they can from doing a relatively low-paid job. So we won't go into that. But
can I say hello to Canada? Hello, Canada. We have Canada here. Mary Fur saying hello from Canada to Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. We also have Vic here as well. Hello, Vic. I don't recognise your name. Is it your first time? We also have Pushpendra Singh as well. Where are you watching at the moment? Lots of new names.
There are. Inaki says, is it true that the British gross domestic product has gone up by 15% since Brexit? No, that is not true.
It is not true. Try minus.
The growth rate has been extremely slow. I think we are probably, don't quote me on this, but I think we have fallen behind our European competitors like France and Germany in terms of GDP.
Yes. So that is basically the money we're making from the things that we make domestically. So the things we make within our own community or in our own country.
Yeah, it's just the total turnover of the economy.
But
it's not that much.
It's not 15%.
It's nowhere near that.
It's not plus.
I think we're barely even doing 1% at the moment per year. So no, we have not done better since coming out of Europe. I mean, no one's really been doing very well.
No.
And it's difficult to measure where we would have been if we'd still been in Europe. It's difficult to, it's all retrospective.
Yes, you can never really tell because we might have stayed in Europe and we might be having the same conversation now as the one we're having right now at this very moment. So you never really know, you see. You make choices, you make decisions, but you never really know if it was the right decision, even though I think it was the wrong decision.
Christina says, at what age do you retire in the UK? Well, it's actually variable depending on your age.
Yes.
So the older you are, the younger you will retire. But I don't think anybody can retire now before the age of 66 in the UK.
The older you are, the younger you retire. I don't understand what that means.
Yes, because the younger you are, what they're doing is that for younger people, they're pushing the retirement age further forward.
Oh, I see.
Further back.
It's the other way round to what you said. So it's
no. If you're older, then you retire earlier because they only brought these new rules in. So me, for example, give you an example.
You were lucky.
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
So I was born in 1961. So I cannot officially retire until I'm 67 to get a state pension.
That's terrible because you don't have much life left.
So, well, that's what they've done. It used to be, men used to, up until about not that long ago, men in the UK would retire at 65 and women would retire at 60.
Okay.
So that was for decades. But then because of the cost of the retirement that the government has to spend, and there's more and more elderly people, they've pushed that back. And depending on your age, so when you were born determines when you can get the state pension.
Okay.
So for me, and if I'd been 6 months earlier...
So you have to wait until you're 67?
I do. I think for you, I think it's going to be 68 because you're 4 years younger than me.
I won't be alive then.
That's right. So if I'd been born in... Oh, no, sorry, I don't mean... If I'd been born a year earlier... In 1960, I could have got my state pension at 66, but I have to wait another year. So it all depends on your age, but and that's probably going to get later and later for people. And women now, because of equality, women are quite annoyed
Yes.
because
Yes.
instead of retiring at 60, they cannot now get a state pension until they're at least 65.
Yeah, you
which
see?
is the same, say essentially the same.
You
as
see,
men.
ladies, you wanted the equality. You wanted everything to be equal. So now you have to work as long as the men do. So
Yes.
it doesn't always work out in your favour at all.
Nitram says Steve and Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve will live forever on the internet.
Yes.
Well, that's true. If you, what you mean by that, of course, is that even after we're gone,
Even after we have deceased and turned
Passed
to dust.
on our videos or your videos will hopefully, unless YouTube cut them off,
Yes.
will still be able to be seen on YouTube, just like an old film or an old television program where the people in it have died. You can carry on watching them.
I have this dream that I'm a little bit like Van Gogh. Where during his lifetime, he didn't really do very well. He did sell some pictures, but not many. But I like to think that after I've snuffed it, that people will say, "Oh, who is that guy? Who is that man on the internet?" The internet, it will be preserved forever, and then maybe people will be buying my original videos.
Maybe you'll get millions of views, Mr. Duncan.
But I won't get to enjoy it because
Exactly.
I'll be dead.
Exactly.
So that's how I see myself. Some people get to be successful with their creativity during their lives, and some people don't. I think I'm going to be the one that doesn't.
Nitram says 69. Yeah, it is a hell of an age to retire, yes. I know. Well, when we used to go to, of course, in France, they're having a big debate. Lewis will know about this. They're having a lot of debate and a lot of sort of protests.
Yes.
Because Macron wants to reduce, or should I say Macron, if I'm going to pronounce it correctly.
You have to Macron.
That's it. Wants to reduce or increase the age of retirement. I think now, if Lewis is, Lewis is on today. He is.
Do you know?
Yes, Lewis is on now. Am I correct in saying that you can retire in France at the age of 60?
Wow.
I think I might be right, and I think they want to extend it to 65. Lewis can tell us.
I can see why people are angry.
Well, yes.
If I could retire at 60. And then they want to put it up to 65, I would be really annoyed.
Well, I'm asking Lewis, what is the age of retirement in France?
I might go out and protest in the street myself.
Well, when we used to go in the sort of early 2000s, the late 1990s and early 2000s, we were visiting Malaysia quite a lot because of our friends there.
Yes.
And I asked somebody what their retirement age was in Malaysia, and it was 55. 55. Wow. I don't know whether it still is. Anybody watching from Malaysia? I was incredibly jealous at the time.
But I think the standard of living there, or certainly amongst those who are working and earning, might be very different from the average person. Because we did see. I'm not saying anything bad about Malaysia because I love the place, but you might see that there is a lot of poverty at that time, and not everyone was enjoying the pension. So maybe that's the reason why. So perhaps nowadays, you don't know, maybe they've increased it in Malaysia as well.
Yes.
Because more and more people have become affluent and have a better standard of living.
Matt says in France the retirement age is 62.
Wow.
Which is still very, very good.
Yes.
For a Western country.
That means you will be retiring next year.
That's 6 years.
Properly.
5 years.
Well,
I would have to, if I was in France now, I could literally retire now, Mr.
Yes.
Duncan.
Without having to work.
State pension.
You could get your state pension and you could retire completely and utterly.
Yes. But in fact, I will have to wait another 5 years before I can get my state pension.
Yes.
Which means I will be relying on my company pension to try and fill that 5-year gap.
Yes.
Until I can get in order to finance our lives.
Yes. It's a bit of a squeeze, let's just say. I might have to go back to selling my body on the streets of Much Wenlock behind the Guildhall. So at the back of the Guildhall, there's a little dark area. And I used to have to go there, you see, and sell my body. But I might have to go back to doing that.
How much do you think you'd get these days,
Well, not
Mr.
much.
Duncan?
I'm damaged goods now.
That's very true.
It's like going into an old antique shop and you see a broken chair that's only got one leg. That's me. No one's going to pay for this.
Christina says that they're waiting in Italy because, of course, they've got a new government there, haven't they?
They have.
They're waiting about an announcement about the age of retirement
Yes.
from the new government.
Another country that might be trying to pull out of Europe, the European Union.
Nidram says 62 with a modern level of health is unsustainable. Well, that's why a lot of countries are extending that retirement age. Of course, I don't know. They don't. Of course, we get full medical cover in the UK for health because we've got the National Health Service. I'm not sure what the situation is in France in terms of healthcare. So maybe they can afford to let people retire earlier because there isn't such a burden on the economy from.
Yeah, I think they have a similar. I think they have a similar health service to the NHS, but it's. I think only certain things are free, as I understand it. Talking of politics.
Yes.
Okay, you do yours first.
I was going to say, Inaki says that in Spain, if you work in the bank, you can retire at 53 or 55.
Oh my goodness, that means I would be retired now.
Well, actually, nurses in the UK can get their nurse pension at the age of 60.
Mm.
So I think doctors can. Yes. So even in the UK, certain sectors, and if you're a public health worker, like a nurse, or you work in the civil service, or you're a doctor, you can take your pension earlier. It might not be as good, but I know a lot of nurses who retire at 60.
Oh.
Because they can. And I've got an old NHS pension. It's not worth very much, but because I only worked in the NHS for 4 years.
Yeah.
But I can take that now if I want to.
Yeah.
For, something like £100 a month or something.
That's all right.
Which is not going to really help us very much.
It's still more than I'm earning on YouTube.
Oh, right. Yes.
So it is interesting when we look at those sort of things. Talking of politics, the thing I wanted to say was today it is the final runoff in Brazil.
Oh.
Yes, we have De Silva, who appears to be the current favourite. So here, of course, was the previous president, but then he was involved in a little bit of scandal, and then he was cleared of that scandal. So it would appear that what's the other guy's name? I always mispronounce his name.
Bolsonaro.
Bolsonaro, that's it. So Bolsonaro, who is the current president, might be beaten today or as the results come in. So it would appear that De Silva, who apparently has a much softer approach to many things, whereas Bolsonaro is a little bit more, I don't want to say towards the right, but people have said he is a little bit more extreme and hard-lined.
Don't they name him the Trump of the of South America? There's a phrase.
Yes, and of course he was criticised.
Trumpian.
He was criticised heavily during coronavirus as well, where thousands and thousands and thousands of people sadly died due to the effects of the coronavirus. So it would appear that Leo De Silva or Lilu? It's a very hard name to pronounce, as you've noticed.
So we will be very interested to see what happens there.
Yes. So if he gets in, De Silva, things will be a little less extreme.
Hopefully.
And I did enjoy watching the Bolsonaro yesterday riding. Was it on his motorbike? He was riding on his motorbike with all of his supporters. I thought that was amazing. I did see that.
Well, Lewis says that, in fact, you can retire at 60 in France. I think the qualifier has to be that you've worked for 40 years.
Yes.
So, in other words, you've paid into the tax system for 40 years, and then you can take your pension Yeah, I mean that's quite good. In the UK now, Lewis, and anybody else watching, I mean, effectively that was this. If you paid in for 40 years in the UK, you could, but now, for example, we've got national. What is it? National insurance that you pay with your wages, which is contributing towards your health care, the National Health Service, and your pension. But you can only put in 40 years worth.
That's it.
And then after that, you don't get any increased pension at all. So the maximum, it's very similar here. Once you've paid in, I think it's 40 years. So you could carry on working for another 5 or 10 years and you would have to carry on paying your national insurance, but you wouldn't get any extra money in your pension. Your pension wouldn't go up any more.
Yes.
So if you carry on working beyond 40 years, your national insurance contributions are going to go into the big pot.
Yes.
The big government pot for pensions, and you don't get any more benefit.
No, and all pensions, of course, when you pay your pension or the money towards your pension, it isn't going somewhere. So quite often it's spent on other things. So they hope that by the time you claim your pension, that there is still enough money for them to give you your pension. It's very complicated. So it's not linked to shares or investments. It's a very different thing altogether.
Yeah. So
because that money is spent by the government on roads and trains and.
You mean the national? Yes. So. Yes, Macron wants to make people work until 65. That's what he wants to do, and it probably. I can't see it being popular, and of course it's not.
So it's going to increase by 3 years.
Well, no, because Lewis says if you've worked for 40 years, so you start working when you're 20, you could retire at 60 at the moment, but he wants to extend that to 65.
Yes, I can understand now why people would be a little annoyed by that.
But the problem is people are getting older. There's a higher proportion of elderly in the population. And if you haven't got young people working to put that money in for the pension, then it's going to become increasingly difficult. So they'll either have to reduce the pension or increase the age at which you start taking it.
Or we do like that film Logan's Run. Where everyone has to die at a certain age, so you have to have a little chip in your hand. Then when it turns blue, I think it's blue. When it goes blue from red, you have to go along to carousel, and then they spin you around really fast, and you explode into 1,000 pieces.
Lovely.
Yes.
So that's one way of getting rid of.
So that's one way of doing it.
Yes, it's an increasing problem in lots of developed countries, because the proportion of elderly people retiring is increasing, and the proportion of young workers putting money in to the tax system that pays for those pensions is reducing. So, do the maths. Something's got to give. You can't carry on paying people high pensions for an early age if there's less people working putting money in.
Yeah. So it's just simply put, too many old people, not enough young people of a working age. So everyone's getting older. We're getting older. Can you see what's happening to me? I don't know why. I noticed a couple of days ago that my face is going downwards. It's all starting to drop. Everything now at the front of my body has now dropped by about 3 or 4 inches.
Imagine where it's going to be by the time you retire, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
Maybe you should start doing your lessons standing on your head.
Yes.
And then it will reverse. Gravity will pull everything back the other way, Mr. Duncan.
Trust me, that would look worse. I might not be able to see anything.
Well, maybe. You see, people won't know. Maybe you could do it standing on your head, but then you can reverse the picture.
Well, turn it
magically.
Yes, invert the
picture. And then, so you will get the health benefits, but everyone else won't know the difference. There is a device you can get this sort of, it's a sort of a framework.
Yes.
And you lie on it. It's like a sort of, and it sort of tips you up the other way.
Well, it's an inversion table.
It's supposed to be good for you.
It doesn't seem like something you should be doing if you are at risk of a stroke.
Well, Mr. Duncan, I read about this.
So you lie on the table and it tips you, it turns you upside down, so you're hanging upside down.
Like a bat.
That can't be good for you. It might stretch the joints in your back, but I don't think it will do your brain much good.
Inversion therapy, it's called.
Because all of the blood will go to your brain.
Well, I tried that, you see, probably about 20 years ago. I read about this inversion therapy, whereas if it's standing on your head or it's supposed to be good. And I did try that, standing on my head. And I thought my head was going to explode. It was really painful. I felt all this pressure. I thought, I'm not doing that anymore, Mr. Duncan. That's not very good for me. So I didn't do that. But yes, you could maybe you could get a facelift, Mr. Duncan. Turn back time.
Yes.
You see how I got time in there, Mr. Duncan? That looks brilliant. Yes. Oh, look, we look younger already, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah. So we're just going to try it for a few moments.
Yes. Okay then.
See what happens. I can feel the blood already rushing to my brain.
Mr. Duncan, you look so much younger already.
Actually, I think we'll keep it like this because we look younger anyway, just upside down. I didn't realise how much better we look upside down.
Don't worry, don't adjust your iPads.
Yes. Well, it doesn't matter at your iPad, you just turn it round.
Oh, I see. So, right. Now, the live stream hasn't gone wrong again today.
No, it's okay.
Everything is all right, and we will revert back to normal.
There we go.
We already have.
That's better.
You're such a technical wizard, Mr. Duncan. So time, is that what we're talking about today, Mr. Duncan?
We will be talking about time, and we have plenty of time to talk about time because there's always time to talk about time here because, of course, the clocks went back last night by 1 hour because now we are following GMT instead of BST.
So we're back to British. Oh, we're now on British Standard Time.
No, we're on GMT now.
Right.
Greenwich Mean Time.
So we're on what is the proper time then?
Can I just say I don't even understand any of that.
Yes.
I wish they would just stop doing it.
So we're on GMT now, are we?
As I understand it, yes.
Well, and that's the proper time then.
That's it.
As opposed to...
So British summer time is when the clocks go forward. You fall into summer, or you spring forward and you fall back. That's how I remember.
So now we're back to what is the official time set by Greenwich Mean Time clock. Which the whole world, in fact, is set on that time.
Yes, the atomic clock. Atomic clock? That doesn't sound very safe, does it?
I'm sure there isn't much radioactivity in it, Mr. Duncan. Anarchist computer has broken down. Well, we'll wait for you.
No,
don't worry.
I think he's on about the...
yes.
The inverted picture.
Yes, it is a joke. Don't go away. We're not having to do what we did last week.
Well, it's okay. It's working now.
Yes.
We're back the way we should. We are looking at time today. Time. There never seems to be enough time, does there? When you think about it, there never seems to be enough time in the world. But we always try to make time whenever we can. So in a few moments, we are going to look at the subject of time, and there are many words, many phrases. If you want to talk about time as well, can I just say we have plenty of time to talk about it. English Addict on a Sunday here in the UK. I hope you're having a good day where you are. It's Mr. Steve, there he is, and myself, Mr. Duncan. That's me, by the way. We talk about English. You might say that we are English addicts, and I have a feeling you might be as well.
And it's lovely to have you here today, this afternoon, as it is in our country.
On this lovely autumn day. It's a very nice day today, by the way. We are having some gorgeous weather. Time is something that we often work against. we often find that time is something that we have to push against. There never seems to be enough time. In fact, some people say, though there is, of course, a famous poem, school is the place in which we learn. Fire. A time is the fire in which we burn. And that's what they say. They say that time, we are all being consumed by time. It is slowly destroying us as time goes on.
I've got a definition of time, Mr. Duncan. Do you want me to read that out?
Give it to us.
It's on Wikipedia. It's not something I made up. What is time, Mr. Duncan? Well, according to Wikipedia, it is the combined sequence of existence and events that occurs in an apparently irreversible sequence or succession from the past through the present into the future. So there we go. Oh. That is time.
I was
sequence of events.
I was waiting for a bit more than that.
No, that's a nice, simple definition.
Yes.
That occurs in an apparently irreversible succession from the past through to the present and into the future.
Well, we talk about the dimensions as well, don't we?
That's it. And time, because the old-fashioned, before Einstein came along, there were 3 dimensions, and time was often the 4th one. So the 3 dimensions, as we well know, are measurements of up,
yes,
across, and depth. So they are your 3 spatial measurements of 3 dimensions. We exist in a 3-dimensional world, and time was often thought of as the 4th dimension. But that's all sort of changed since Einstein came along and his theories. But that was the sort of classical view of it.
Yes.
So yes, we don't know what it is, but we can measure it, can't we?
It's all relative.
But we can measure it. I'm sure you're going to talk about that, are you? Measurements, how to measure time.
Maybe.
Or are you going to talk about that?
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Chronometry. Is that a word that's coming up?
Okay, Steve.
I'm just asking because I've got it here if you haven't.
Okay, good. I'm thirsty.
We can measure time, of course, can't we? We can measure time. Chronometry is the measurement of time, and we can do that with our clocks. Or we can do it with a calendar, for example, and measure the progression of time. Time, Mr. Duncan.
There are lots of things we can say about time as well. Yes. We can look at words and phrases, I suppose, connected to our old friend, Father Time. He never stops.
I used to think when I was younger that somebody invented time.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe the concept of time was thought up.
It's been here since the Big Bang, assuming that actually did happen.
Well, I'm more interested in the concept of time from a human perspective, because there must have been a point of time where we did not think of time. So we must have just woken up in the morning, moved around, and then just felt a bit tired, and then had a sleep without actually thinking what time it was. So I always find that quite interesting.
Because animals don't, well, as far as we know, because we can't get inside the heads of animals, we don't know if they're thinking. Presumably, it is only humans that have got this perception of time. Probably animals don't. They're just eating or copulating or something. I don't know.
Great.
They're just eating or existing.
That was worth a pause.
They're presumably not sitting there. That's the difference between humans and animals.
Yes.
We can contemplate our existence and everything around us.
That's it.
And we can measure it, and animals can't, as far as we know.
I think with animals, it is more about daylight and warmth.
Yes.
I think their perception of time is based on light and warmth. When they feel warmer, they know they have to do certain things. When it starts to get dark, they know they have to do certain things. So there isn't an actual clock ticking away. But with human beings, of course, we do, in fact, have our own internal clock, a clock that is controlling the body, the metabolism, everything is ticking away. And
all
it's
linked.
It's called...
The biological clock, is that what you're talking about, Mr. You would think we'd rehearse this, wouldn't you?
But no, there is a name, though, isn't there, for the internal clock?
Circadian?
The circadian.
Not just a pretty face.
I love that
Said
word.
that before.
So the circadian is your internal clock. So everything that your body is doing is running to a certain time. And that's one of the reasons why having lack of sleep can be so bad for you. In fact, they've worked out now that if you have a certain career or a certain type of job where you have to work at night, it can cause so much disruption to your body that you can actually have side effects, ill health as you get older. Things like strokes have now been linked to poor sleep because your body isn't having a chance to go through its, circadian.
Yes, and
the circadian cycle.
Also dementia is being linked to lack of sleep as well. But that's not really to do with... Well, it's to do with time because it means you're not getting enough sleep, but that's not to do with really what we're talking about. But
we even call it old-timers.
Old-timers, yes, that's a good phrase for somebody who has lived for a long time.
Yes.
And the perception of time for different creatures is different, isn't it? Like a fly.
I suppose the best one is plant life. So plant life appears to have an internal clock, but all plants are actually doing is reacting once again to light and heat. So when the light appears, when it's sunny, the flowers will open, and when it gets cooler, the plants will prepare for the onset of the extreme weather, especially in this country. So it's quite interesting.
See, Anna thinks that, or Anna Wah says that time is a circle, not a line.
Oh.
You see, in scientific terms, we think of time as a line. It has a beginning and an end.
Yes.
And you can't go back in time. But Anna is thinking that it's a circle, that eventually you might come back. Maybe. I don't understand that concept. Perhaps you could explain that a bit further to us.
All I can say is I hope not.
I'm interested.
I don't want to go through this again.
See, that's a different definition of time, where we're open to all different ideas and views on this channel, Mr. Duncan. But yes, like a bit more context.
Yes,
please, Anna, on what you mean by that.
Wasn't it Archimedes?
Archimedes.
He's one of the earliest sort of philosophers about time. And
is he? I don't know.
Yes.
I didn't get that far in Wikipedia.
And of course, the sun, because we were talking about dark and light, of course, the sun was the first way of measuring time just by using the shadow of the sun. And that's how we actually ended up with clocks.
By Rosa
because of the sundial. So the sundial would cast a shadow in a certain position, and that is how you worked out what time it was. Some phrases.
Phrases, yes.
Here's a good one.
Ooh, yes.
Talking of olden times, they don't come much older than Latin. Time flies. We can express this as tempus fugit. You might hear people say, tempus fugit.
Not many. You won't hear many people saying that.
People do say that. They do say it.
I've not heard anybody say that for probably 30 years.
But
I'm joking, Mr. Duncan.
Do you? Oh, yeah, okay.
If you want to appear to be quite clever and knowledgeable...
Well, not really.
Then say tempus fugit. Say, I've got to go.
Yeah. Don't use too much Latin because people will think that you're a bit of an arse.
Well, that's what I mean. You see, Boris Johnson probably used that phrase every day of his life because he used to quote Latin a lot to make him appear clever.
That's it. But anyone can remember words.
Well, that's it. It's just the same as anybody of you watching. There's a
fly that keeps attacking me.
There's a fly that is yes. There
is a fly
whose time is limited on this earth.
This fly is winding me up.
Yes, that's right. So, I mean, People are often afraid of Latin, but it's no different.
I've got to rush, Steve.
But I'm just saying it's no different to learning any other language.
Yes. Anyway,
yes.
Tempus fugit. You can say that time flies. That's literally what it means. You can also say time flies, a bit like the fly that's buzzing around here.
Yes.
That fly is buzzing around, but as you said, I think he might not have much time left if he keeps flying around my studio, annoying me.
Mr. Duncan killed a fly in a cafe we were in the other day.
Okay, you sound so pleased
killed
about
a fly. No, I was a bit upset. Right in front of me, killed a fly.
Yes. Well, it was trying to land on my food and have a poop on it. I don't want fly poop. Anyway, Steve, moving on because we are now starting to run out of time.
Right.
A watched pot never boils. This is a good one. I like this expression. A watched pot never boils. And this refers to the awareness of time. If you think too much about how long something is taking to happen, it will seem as if it's taking longer to do it than it actually is. So it is, I suppose you might say it's just in your mind, because if you are sitting waiting for something to happen, maybe you are boiling some water, maybe you are cooking something delicious like Claudia is today.
I read earlier about, was it a lemon cake or something?
Really?
Or a cake? Yes, I think Claudia was baking a cake, I think.
Nice.
Which sounded quite nice to me.
So a watched pot never boils. We often say this when we want to address a person who is waiting for something to happen or to be completed. So don't concentrate too hard on it, because if you do, it will seem to take much longer. The awareness of time makes it seem to go by slower.
Yes.
A lot of people say that when they're bored, time goes slowly.
Maybe time is passing very slowly for people watching this live stream today. Let's hope it's passing quickly.
Then we
know that you are engaged.
People always say the opposite. They say it goes by so quickly.
It's like when you were at school and you wanted the lesson to end because you wanted to go home. Those last 20 minutes, half an hour, seem to go by very slowly because you keep watching the clock. It's because if you're thinking about wanting to do something at a certain time, then time moves slower than if you were engaged in activities right up to that point.
Here's another one, Steve. We have to get on because we've got quite a few to look at.
Right.
A stopped clock is right twice.
Never heard of that.
You've never heard of that?
No.
A stopped clock is right twice, or quite often people say twice a day. So a stopped clock will be right twice a day.
You will have to explain that, Mr. Duncan.
Well, because if a clock stops, then it's stopping at a certain time, like the clock here. So it's stopped at 2:10, or sorry, I think that's 10:10. 10:10, you can see there. So this clock will be right twice a day, because it will be 10:10 in the morning and 10:10 at night. So even though this clock has stopped and it is not showing the right time, it will still be right twice a day, because it will still be 10:10 at some point in the morning and some point in the evening. So a stopped clock is right twice or twice a day. So anyone or anything can be right at some point. It's a great expression. You often hear this used when a person is trying to justify something that they might think is real or true, or maybe you doubt what they are saying is true. But maybe you say, oh, no, everyone is right at some point. A stopped clock is right twice or twice a day. So it means anyone can be right at some point.
Oh, so is this referring to somebody who might be a bit stupid in a way, or not very clever, let's say?
That's it.
And you want to come out with lots of rubbish, like Boris Johnson,
okay, Steve.
For example. He comes out with a lot of garbage.
Okay.
But probably every now and then something that he says will actually be right.
That's it.
And correct.
Because even a stopped clock is right twice a day.
Yes.
Yes. So even though that clock is useless, it can still be right.
It'll still be right twice a day, so even an idiot will be right every now and then.
I like that one.
Nitram says here now, Nitram, showing your I think Nitram is showing his very clever scientific knowledge here.
Okay.
Does the "watched pot never boils" phrase refer to the double slit experiment?
Does it?
Now, are you referring to Young's two-slit experiment, proving that light is not just light is... Yeah, I can't remember what it does now.
Well, that's good.
I remember doing that when I was in physics when I was younger.
I think Mr. Steve is a clock.
Is light a particle or is it a wave?
Yeah.
That's what Young... Are you referring to Young's two-slit experiment? In which case, I'm very impressed. And because I used to love that experiment, I thought it was fascinating.
You can bend it.
And I recreated it in my bedroom.
Really?
I did, yes.
Wow.
And it's quite easy to do. Are you referring to Young's two-slit experiment, Dr. Nitram? I'm calling you that. You're Dr. Nitram.
Okay, Steve. All right, calm down a bit. I know you're really happy because you've said something that sounds intelligent. But so is it a wave? Is it a wave or a particle? It's a wave, isn't it?
Well, this is what this experiment was designed to prove.
You can bend light.
I think it's hundreds. It's a very old experiment.
Yeah.
I think because people used to assume it was a wave, and I think that experiment proved that it could also be. It's all to do with quantum physics, I think.
Okay, Steve.
I think it's all to do with that.
I feel already that we are straying from your point of know-how and knowledge.
But I want to know if that's what you are referring to.
Okay, Steve. Yeah, I think it must be.
In which case, I'm very excited suddenly.
Yes.
Tomek's just come in.
It's nothing to do. All right, Steve. Just you have to stop.
There we go. He's shutting me up. You see.
I just wanted to pause.
I knew it would happen.
Yes, because we've got 20 minutes and we've got thousands of things to look at. You're doing what you always do.
You've missed all the best bits, Tomek. You've missed all the best bits.
The best Bics. The best Bics. He's a good Bic.
Yes.
There's a nice Bic. A nice Bic pen.
And he says, as have a lot of people, congratulations on your anniversary. Can't thank you enough for everything you've done to improve my English.
That's nice. Thank you very much. So we have some more. Steve.
Oh, Claudia's back as well. Yeah.
We have run over.
Yes.
Run out and run against. So these are, you might say they are phrasal verbs. To run over is to go too long. Like us, every Sunday we always run over. So we go on longer than we should.
God, that meeting's run over. I'm going to be late for my bus. Is a phrase you could use.
That doesn't make sense though.
Does?
That shouldn't that...
Obviously,
because your meeting's taking too long.
Yes.
And now you will miss your bus.
That meeting's run over far too long. I'm going to miss my train.
Yes. So if something runs over, it means it's gone too long. Too long. Run out means you have no time left. You run out of time. Maybe at 4:01 today, we will run out of time. We will have no time left. And then you might run against time. You are battling a deadline. You are trying to get from one place to another in a certain time. You are trying to run against time. You are trying to do something faster or maybe within a certain time period.
Yes, so we might say at 4 o'clock, we might say we've run out of time. We have to go because our allotted time was 2 hours. I mean, we could run over. It's not like we have to stop exactly at 2.
No.
But we could say we've run 4. We've run out of time. Nice to have you all here today. See you next week. That's what we will probably say. But yes, if you're running against time, it means you're running out of time to do something.
Yes.
Doesn't it? You've got a time period to do something, like a task.
Okay.
So you might have an hour to do like an exam, for example, and you're battling to complete all the tasks in that set amount of time. You're battling a deadline, exactly.
So to recap: run over, go too long; run out, have no time left; run against, battle against time or to battle a deadline.
I can't talk to you now. I'm running against time.
Yes.
I've got to go on.
And so are we.
You've got tasks to do.
The hands of time. This is an interesting one. We can also say another thing, Steve, the sand of time. But this one, the hands of time. So we are talking about the movement of the hands on a clock, because they never stop unless, of course, the clock breaks or runs out of power. But the hands of time, we are talking about the movement. It is figurative. So we are talking about time itself. Time, the hands of time. Or we can say the sand of time.
Yes.
Because the old-fashioned clock or timer that used to be full of sand. So you can have one of those as well.
That hourglass sort of figure.
Yes.
Yes. So it's just a phrase that you use to express that time is passing, isn't it?
Yes, the hands of time.
Well, that said, you could say, oh, look how Mr. Duncan's face in his early YouTube lessons was much more youthful.
It's true.
And now it has dropped,
Yes.
as you referred to earlier. You can say, well, that's the sands of time.
Yes, or the hands
of time.
The hands of time never
The
stop.
sands of time are probably the commonest ones. Isn't it?
So this is what 16 years on YouTube will do to you. It will do this to you. It'll make your face turn into this.
There we go. Nitram has exactly said what I said. That is what Young's two slits experiment. Are you impressed that I knew about that, Nitram? Are you impressed?
The experiment with two slits. So
yes.
Light is both a particle and a wave.
I can't fully understand it, but yes.
That's clear.
That experiment was designed to show that it can be defined in waves and particles.
Not to be confused. Not to be confused with Schrödinger's cat, which is
somebody else said that. Is that the same thing?
Oh, it's not the same. No,
I don't think it's quite the same.
That is all about possibility and outcome of a situation. So
again, linked to quantum mechanics, I believe.
So if you put a cat in a box, is it dead or alive? Well, while it's unseen and in the box, it is both. It is both dead and alive.
Valentin says footprints of time.
Well, that's a good one. Yes.
Yes.
As we go through time, we leave our mark on the world. We do things that might change time or change a person's life in some way. We all leave our footprints.
Yes. Sometimes literally. What's that famous place where you put your handprints in? It's on the famous walk of famous people in America somewhere on a street somewhere.
That must be the Chinese theatre.
No, it's in Hollywood somewhere.
Yes, that's what I just said. It's the Chinese theatre.
Is that what it's called?
It's Lay's. I think it's Lay's Chinese theatre. Yes, that's it. It's a cinema.
It's not that. It's where the stars put their handprints or their footprints on the pavements.
Yes,
paving stones.
That's it.
Somewhere in Hollywood. What's the name of the street?
It's the Walk of Fame.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Yeah. But it's outside the theatre itself where they leave their handprints.
But yes, it's got another name. But yeah, that's it. So yes, so that literally you have left your imprint on. Everyone can see that forever in that moment. But yeah, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's nice when we get other people. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you've got this one, Mr. Duncan, that Connell's just put on. But let's.
Okay.
If not, then,
can we move on, Steve?
Yes, of course. I'm not stopping you.
You kind of are. Something is a ticking time bomb. Now, can I just say that this once again is figurative? So this is a figurative expression.
I hope so.
Well, it is. That's what I'm saying. It is. Yeah. It is figurative. So something is a ticking time bomb. We often use this phrase, a terrible thing waiting to happen. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it will happen or that it will be a disaster, but we can name anything or say that something that might cause a problem or might cause hurt, harm, upset, damage in the future. We can say that it is a ticking time bomb.
Like me, for example, on the live streams, Mr. Duncan.
You are.
I'm a ticking time bomb to getting Mr. Duncan banned off YouTube, because at any moment, maybe not today, maybe next week or a year later, I may say something and YouTube bans Mr. Duncan's channel. So I am, in a way, a ticking time bomb.
What I'm hoping is that Elon Musk eventually buys YouTube, and then we can say whatever we want, just like he did with Twitter.
Another example would be you've got an old electrical device.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to use examples to help people understand, you see, more. You've got an old electric fire or something like that. Or and it's old, it's dangerous. You switch it on, and it could be all right for years, or it could be all right for weeks. But then one day you switch it on, it might blow up and cause a fire in the house.
It literally is called a fire, though.
Yeah, so that's but something that could go wrong. There's something inherently bad about that situation or that person or that thing, which means that it could go wrong. But you would have an opportunity to correct that if you were to do something about it.
Yes.
But often people don't. You could have, a car, for example.
Anything, a hidden danger.
Hidden danger. You could have a car, for example, that you never check the tyres or the brakes don't work properly. But one day you might need to use those brakes to stop yourself running over somebody. It's a ticking time bomb.
Yes.
But the perception is that you could actually correct it if you were to do something about it.
So maybe a situation that could be put right but isn't, so it will eventually or may eventually go horrendously wrong. Here's another one, Steve, because we have loads to do yet. Beat the clock.
Beat the clock.
This doesn't mean do. It doesn't mean
it's not a literal phrase.
It's not literal, it's figurative. Again, you are saying that you are racing against time. You have to do something within a certain period of time. You are trying to beat the clock. You are trying to do something before time runs out. You have to beat the clock. You have to do it.
I've got to beat the clock today. I've got so many things to do.
Yes.
It's a phrase you could use it to indicate you've got a lot of things to do in a short period of time.
Here's another one. Deadline.
Deadline.
Yes. We all have these. If you work in an office, maybe you have to do a certain amount of tasks during the day, or maybe you have to complete something. You have to have it finished by a certain time or date. We describe that as a deadline. That is when the time runs out. So we might say that it is a time limit, a point of time when something must be done by.
Like you have to be ready at 2:00 to start your live lesson.
Yes.
That is a deadline. Or you might say that your boss might say to you, I want that report by 5 p.m. on Friday. That's your deadline.
Yes.
And you unless you negotiate a new deadline, it's got to be done by that time.
So I have a deadline every Sunday. In fact, my deadline is 10 minutes to 2. So 10 minutes to 2 is my deadline. I have to be prepared, ready. Everything has to be running in preparation to make sure everything is running smoothly, the computer is working and everything is prepared. So it's actually 10 to 2 is when my deadline is. So that's when I have to be ready. I have to be standing here. I have to then prepare to begin the live stream. I have 10 minutes to do that, to make sure I'm ready. A deadline, a point that must be, it's there in front of you and you have to complete something by that time.
Creates pressure, tension, stress.
Here's another one, a well-known proverb. Time and tide wait for no man.
Connell put that on the live. So well done, Connell. Thank you for that.
Good.
But yes, please explain, Mr. Duncan.
Time and tide wait for no man. That means that they are things that are unstoppable. You can't stop them. You can't change the tide as it comes in and goes out. The sea will always come in and always go out as the moon goes around the earth, so the sea level will change, which is why you have the tide coming in and going out. So imagine the moon is slightly sucking the water upwards, and that's why it goes away. It's very simplistic.
Yes, it's meant to say that you can't stop time. So you might as well get on and do what you're supposed to do. It's almost, if somebody says that to you, it's almost like they're accusing you of being a bit lazy.
Yes.
You better get on and do those tasks around the house, that housework, because time and tide wait for no man or woman.
You might be having a lazy moment, and then you look at your watch and you say, time and tide wait for no man.
Better get on and do those housework tasks, because time and tide wait for no man. It's an indication that you've got things you've got to do, and if you don't do them, then you're going to run out of time.
That's it.
And yeah,
you don't want that. Here are some good ones, Steve. Clock on and clock off.
Right.
You clock on and clock off. So again, this is used as a term, or they are both terms that relate to beginning work. So when you go to work, you clock on and you clock off when you finish work. In the old days in factories, a person would literally take a card and they would punch their card into a machine, and that would state when that person arrived. So at the end of the week, the boss could check to make sure you were coming in at the right time, and we would call that clocking on. And then, of course, the opposite, clock off, down there, means you clock out. So you are leaving work and you do the same thing, because they need to make sure that you are doing a full day's work. You're not having a short day. You are working for the hours that you are supposed to.
I think factory workers still probably use that. If you work in a factory, you have to clock on and clock off. They probably still do that in factories around the world, or certainly in this country.
I would imagine nowadays it's all done wirelessly with a card.
Probably.
So I would imagine somebody will just use their card and swipe, or just show their card, or even their face.
Yes, you go through the camera, facial recognition, retinas or whatever, maybe a thumbprint. You probably don't have a card that you physically put into a clock anymore.
I think they use your face nowadays.
Probably do, yes.
You just look at the camera and it takes a picture, and it shows when you arrived at work. Here we go then. Another one, Steve, before we finish. We've only got 6 minutes.
6 minutes. We've got to try and beat the clock here, Mr. Duncan, and get all your phrases in.
The time is running out. So here are some words. We can use the word watch. Well, when we think of watch, it is the thing on your wrist. We can also use chronometer as well, the measurement of time with any device, including a clock. So Steve has the old-fashioned clock, you see. So that one is
my 50k Rolex, as somebody
it is not
wanted to suggest it was earlier.
It is not a Rolex.
It is a nice watch.
So this one is described as analog, and this one is digital. So this one is using a small crystal that vibrates at a certain rate, and that's how it keeps the time. Yours is mechanical, and you have to wind the watch up. And of course, there are watches like yours, Steve. If I can show it again.
Well, I can do it. It's all right. I have to bring my hand. I don't have to literally physically move my hand around.
So these can work either mechanically with a winder.
Fascinating.
Or with a battery. So there are, well, that is useful, Steve. Clock can also be described as a timepiece. Your timepiece.
And also your face.
Yes.
If somebody says, "Oh, have a look at his clock," or a clock is often a slang word for somebody's face. I think it's Cockney.
Yeah.
Is it? I think it's more of a Cockney phrase, but it can be referred to as your face, your clock.
To look at something as well is to clock. If you look at something, you clock something. Clock. Did you clock that? Did you see it? Did you see it?
Yes, Palmyra. Chronometer, chronos, is a Greek word.
Oh.
Thank you very much for that, Palmyra.
The subject of time peacemaking. If you are making clocks, watches, anything, we often use the word horology. Horology is the study or the action of making watches or clocks. And of course, the general subject of the movement of time is also described as horology as well. I like that word, horology. It's nice.
Yes.
Tempo. Tempo. We often use this, especially you, Steve, because you are musical. Tempo, the pace of something. Do, 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 do. The rhythm of something. Do, 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 do. Or the beat of something. Do, 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 do. And it comes from tempus, which is the Latin word for time.
Oh, so we've got the Greek word for time, chronos, and now we've got the Latin word for time, tempus.
Yes,
from your tempus fugit.
And of course, you know in your singing there is a way of keeping time as well. There is a device which will swing back and forth, and that will keep the time. So you will sing at the right pace or the right tempo.
Yes.
A metronome.
That's right. Most of them are electronic these days. You can get one on your phone. Yes, it's just beating out the time so that you can keep in time with the music.
And finally, Steve, chronograph. Chronograph. The precise time measurement. So there are very sophisticated watches that can just not only keep the time with the hour and the minutes, but also the seconds and the microseconds as well. So we often use a type of clock or watch called a chronograph, and that has a very precise way of keeping time. But also, if you want to time something, how long something takes, you can have the seconds. You can have the microseconds as well.
Tenths of a second or hundredths of a second.
Yes.
I think they measure, like the 100-metre sprint or any sort of Olympic or any sporting event where you are defined as the winner if you beat the other person.
Yes.
Then you're going to use a chronograph.
Yeah, and
accurate.
Sometimes the difference is just a tenth of a second,
or even like 200ths of a second.
Yes, I always find that amazing. So if two people are running in a race and they appear to be going across the finish line at the same time, there still might be a slight difference between those two competitors, and it might just be a fraction of a second.
Particularly those these days when particularly the short races like the 100-metre, the short, quick events, where everybody is at such a high level of fitness and ability now that you can only measure the difference in someone's ability by measuring down to 100th of a second. I think that's quite incredible.
Yes, I always find that fascinating. So even if you seem to be in equal place, going at the same time, they can measure it. And they can show that one person was slightly faster than another one. And so whoever was the fastest, even if it was only by a microsecond, they will be the winner. And chronograph, of course, comes from Kronos, or Kronos, and he was the Greek god of time.
As Palmyra told us.
For an extra bonus point, one of his sons had a very interesting name. Can you think of what it was? One of his sons.
Can you think of what it might be? Obviously, we know.
Well, it's 4:00, so we don't have much time to do that.
Yes, we're running out of time.
One of his sons was called Chaos.
Oh. Chaos.
Yes. Apparently it relates to the void of time, the expanse of time and the void of time. And of course, we now use the word chaos to mean lots of things happening at the same time that are disruptive
Which we often get on these live streams, but not today. It's been fairly calm, and we had no chaos at all.
I just threw that one in, by the way, as an extra. So Mr. Steve has
a bonus.
Mr. Steve has his split light,
a bonus,
and I have my Son of Kronos. It sounds like something from Superman, but it isn't. I think we are almost out of time.
Valentin says here, there are days... We're going to run over if we're not careful, Mr. Duncan. If we carry on talking for much longer, we will run over.
So if we run out of time, we will then run over time.
There are instruments that can show the movement of light, literally. Yes, that's right, yes. 186,000 miles per second. I don't know that in kilometres.
That's very fast.
It's very fast, but yes.
That's how we measure the distance of galaxies and stars as well.
They use these as sort of atomic clocks, don't they? We've mentioned this before, to measure the fact that time runs at different speeds, very slightly closer to the Earth than it does away from the influence of gravity. You can measure higher up, like a plane, an aeroplane, the going up in the sky, because it's further away from... gravity doesn't have the same pull on it because it's further away from the ground. That time actually runs. I can't remember if it's faster or slower now.
Well, as you speed up, it high
it goes faster. Yeah. Time goes faster.
Okay,
that's it. You can actually measure that, which is incredible.
As you speed up, the time will change. You are literally warping time
ever so slightly.
Yes, by maybe a microsecond.
No, it's not even. It's a billionth of a second.
Yes.
Billionths of a second
so
difference.
You would have to travel very fast. You would have to travel, well, literally near the speed of light to actually start to bend time. That of course, has been the basis of many science fiction films.
So interestingly enough, they think that we can move forward in time. Well, they know that you can, because they've measured that. You can do that if you go up in a plane and go at 300 miles an hour.
The thing we just said.
Yeah, exactly. But can you go back in time? Apparently, they don't think that's possible.
No.
Physicists don't think it's possible, but who knows, in the future, it might be possible.
It's rather like eating a meal. I always see time as something that is consumed. So when you eat something, Steve, I think it goes into your mouth, into your stomach, and then it's digested and it's pooped, and that's it. So you can't make that poop go back up.
Ooh, Mr. Duncan.
And no, I'm just saying, and reverse the process. So I always think eating is very similar to time, and that is why they say that time is the fire in which we burn, because we are consumed by it. It's very hard to come back from something that has been consumed. I think so.
Have a good Halloween, says Palmyra.
Halloween?
Which, of course, it is Halloween this evening. We barely mentioned it.
Tomorrow.
And, of course, also this week, the 5th of November, is Guy Fawkes Night, Bonfire Night, which a lot of people will also be celebrating. Somebody mentioned that earlier on in the live stream. Are we having any fireworks, Mr. Duncan?
Well, we're not.
I was asking you whether you'd... Well, maybe you're going to surprise me.
No.
With some... No?
No fireworks.
How about some sparklers?
No, I don't have money to burn. I mean, literally, when you buy fireworks, you are burning money. Literally. You might as well just have a pile of money that you just set fire to. But yes, Halloween is something that not everyone celebrates, not everyone observes Halloween, but some people do, some people don't. It's very big in the United States, even though it originated here in the UK. So its origins began here with all of the pagan festivals, and then that was also influenced by other pagan festivals from other countries. That's how we end up with Christmas as well at this time of year, because Christmas was moved, as was All Saints' Day as well. So just to annoy all of the pagans, they actually moved All Saints' Day to the 1st of November, which is the next day, just to annoy all of the people who like dancing naked around fires.
Nitram says, going back in time is possible. They've done it with a single particle. That's very scary.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, Nitram. Thank you for that insight. I will look that up when we come off the live stream, when I will have more time.
It's not it's not quite quantum leap though, is it?
Well, let's hope not.
We're a long way from that.
Yes, all right then. I'll go first, as usual, Mr. Duncan. It's been an interesting passage of time these last 2 hours.
I hope you've enjoyed your time here.
Yes, and I hope we will have more time next week.
Yes.
And spend more time with you then.
Yes.
Sorry we've run over.
Yes.
Although we were going to struggle to beat the clock today.
That's it. We did have a deadline. Which was 4 o'clock, but now we have gone over the deadline.
We've run over. Nice to be here. Nice to be with you, Mr. Duncan. Although I will be seeing you again in a few minutes with a cup of tea.
Yes. But you won't see that.
No, you won't see what goes on after this. We could film it, actually. No. Maybe we could do that one day. We could film what happens after the live stream, like a sort of extra time, like a sort of a Mr. Duncan extra time.
Oh, no.
We could film what happens after we finish the live stream.
I've just done 2 hours. I don't want to film anything else. If the last thing I want to do after doing this is to do something else connected to cameras and filming, I want to do the opposite, which is none of that.
Right. Are you ready, Mr. Duncan?
It's already starting to get dark.
It is. Right, that's right. Yes, of time. Yes, of course, because the clocks have changed.
So the clocks went back. And also, it means now it's getting darker.
I was going to go into the garden and do something. I can't now because it gets darker earlier because the clock's going back.
So by 5 o'clock, it will be relatively dark.
Right.
Yes, that's it.
All right, Mr. Duncan. Time is against me now, Mr. Duncan. I want to do things outside.
Well, go on.
See you all again next week, possibly on Wednesday. I should be here.
Okay, Steve.
If only briefly. Bye.
Mr. Steve has left the building. That was an interesting day. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream and I hope it was useful to you. I hope it was a useful thing for you. Yes, it is getting dark outside right now as the day comes to an end. Night time is approaching as the days get shorter and shorter. It really does feel as if winter is on its way. I will be back with you on Wednesday. Fancy that. Which will be the 2nd of November. I will be back with you on Wednesday. Mr. Steve might be here as well. We will see what happens. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. Of course, tomorrow it will be the 16th anniversary. 16 years I've been doing this on YouTube. So the anniversary is coming tomorrow. If you want to send me a little thank you note, you can. If you want to say something underneath here in the comments, you are more than welcome to do so. Thanks for your time. I will see you all on Wednesday. Steve might be here. We will see what happens. Thanks for watching and I will catch you very soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Sunday and the beginning of your week. Have a good one. Stay safe, please. Please stay safe. And of course, until the next time we meet, this is Mr. Duncan in England saying, time's up. Ta-ta for now.